episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we take those strategies to make that green. I am so excited today to have with me Trace Godoy and Brooke Barak. We are going to talk today about mother-daughter businesses and how that really works. And how do we pivot when we need to? Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
I am so glad to have both of you here.
Thank you for having
so
us.
much for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Which one of you would like to tell us about the business?
I guess I'll start. So the One in Me strives to, the One in Me is the name of our company, and we strive to provide an uplifting and inspirational effect for both apparel and literacy. We started off with just doing it for youth, and we've decided to expand our brand to get to more people for both adults and young adults as well.
Awesome. How long have you been in business?
We've been in business since 2013. It's the One of Me came about as Brooke's graduating high school project. Brooke is an author, but she's always also produced her a single to encourage children to believe in themselves and stay in school, and learning is the key. So when it was time to do her exiting project, I told her, okay, you need to write a book for your song, and the judges asked her where they can buy her book. So we were like, oh, okay. So that's when mama and daughter went into work, and we established our company, and she published her book and went on from there. She's received accolades from our very own President Obama to recognize as a small business as well as a author. She's done speaking engagements. So we've been in it for a while, just growing and expanding and trying to see where we go from here.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you, anybody who got something from Barack Obama, you go, girl. That is saying something, all right? And I hope you took moments to celebrate
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
Yes.
Because there's so many times when we work so hard and others just don't get to see what we've done. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So tell the audience, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, today we'd like to talk about the fact that although we've been doing this for so long, we're doing a new stretch of something we haven't done before, which is rebranding who we are so that we can reach a bigger audience. So what that means to us is, although we've done marketing before, what is this new strategy of marketing to really get us out there on the map for everybody to see us, as well as trying to find supportive funding to keep going and doing what we love.
Okay. So let's break that up into a couple of pieces as we think about the business. So what you're really rebranding is that it's not just for youth; it's for adults too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's the focus we want to go down, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when we begin to think about marketing strategies, we got to think about how do we reach both audiences, right? And so you have tools and mechanisms through your book and other things to get to the young generation because that's where you began. Right? So now we want to get to the adults and talk about what that looks like. You have an ingrained community already. Your young adults' parents, your young adults' cousins, your young adults' aunts, uncles, those can be the individuals who actually kickstart your community to begin to talk about this rebrand, right? Because they know you. You've done some valuable things. They know who you are. They know what services you have given. So utilizing that community to help you just on your basis will help you move far. You mentioned that you've done a number of speaking engagements. Now we know it's hard to get a speaking engagement. Correct. So kudos on getting the speaking engagements to begin with. But the other thing is that when you take snippets of those speaking engagements, and you talk about, we were talking a keynote about X to help young children to do Y. And today we can take that and expand it to do Y to help a new audience. Make your connection so it's not separate.
Gotcha.
Right? Build upon the efforts that you've already done in terms of moving forward, right? Even with those accolades, etc. Now, I think that because you are expanding your brand and pivoting, it's really important that if you don't have a marketing strategist, that you get one. And there's a difference between a marketer, somebody who helps you just market your product, and a marketing strategist.
Right.
A marketing strategist actually takes you through, let's start with your business. Who are you? Who do you serve? What do you want people to feel? It's all about feelings. What do you want them to feel? What do you want your children to feel? What do you want their parents to feel? What do you want adults to feel? And they help you to match all of that to the mediums in which you need to tell your story.
Gotcha.
Because each medium may not be the same story. You might have a story that you're really going towards the kids, but it's the kids' parents, right? Because you want to get the kids engaged. You want to keep them going. The teachers, you want to get the teachers engaged. You want to get them going. You want principals. You want people that are caring about education,
Right.
because that was your key. So as you continue to do that, you want to be able to talk to them. It's a totally different message when I'm talking about adult education. We've got everything from learning how to read, from adults that adults that are trying to learn how to read. You've got adults that are trying to further their education and skill sets from where they were to where they're going. You have adults, because of that don't have motivation. They don't feel good, right?
Right.
Nobody accepts me. Nobody looks at me for the capabilities I can bring. I feel like I'm less than, right? How do I get that motivation? How do I get that feeling back, as an adult in terms of moving forward? So it becomes really critical when we start thinking about that we think about what are they feeling and what are they going through. And the best way you can do that is also through talking to them. We're going to take a station break, and when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about a few more tips that helps you with gaining that audience, so you can then use that to begin your rebranding to pivot. We're going to take a station break. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Welcome back. As we were talking about how do you take a business and you want to pivot to expand, and your products and your services, and how do you move forward? And boy, do we have an accomplished business here. I mean, somebody who has really gotten accolades from the highest position in this country, the President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama. Now, I'm going to tell you, I would be leveraging that like nobody's business. My pictures would be everywhere because it is hard to say, I know Barack Obama. I got recognized by Barack Obama. But putting that aside, let's talk about how we actually take and move things forward as we're trying to pivot. Let me ask you a question. When you think about the rebranding and you're thinking about your adult segment, what's the first thing that comes to mind that says we want to give the adults?
Well, we just want to be able to motivate and inspire, provide cheerful thoughts, and illuminate minds to say, I believe in myself. I can do it. Because that's the initial thought, the underline of her company, the one in me. Everybody has that special one inside of them. They just have to feel strong enough, brave enough to pull it out and know that they're talented and encouraged. So that's where we wanted to focus on our apparel and different other items. It's just, sometimes just a shirt, or a journal to write your thoughts down. Or sometimes I'm just sipping a cup of coffee with the one in me. Having that conversation.
Right. So the reason I asked that question is because when we think about the one in me, what stops the one in me is something that we feel insecure about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what stops the one in me. And getting to the root cause of that insecurity is what's going to allow me to open up to even think about that I can have the value in me, right?
Right.
So with that said, partnering with those individuals and organizations that can help tell you what the focus area is of the predominant of their clients are going through. I think about therapists all the time and how they see a variety of individuals. What are some of the root causes of what they're seeing? So your motivation can address that root cause, right? Because if I'm feeling less than, or not feeling motivated, or not feeling good because I was a size 6'8", now I'm a size 10, 12, been there, did that, done that, and I'm looking in the mirror and going, ugh, I don't like you, right? I don't like what you look like.
Right.
So I get up in the morning and I'm already frustrated. I don't want to look in the mirror. I don't want to engage because I'm already feeling like, how did you let yourself do that? How did you get to that point? But addressing that issue is very different than addressing someone that has a mental illness, or addressing someone who is in a position where they are not feeling good, or because of a death, they're grieving. That's a very different kind of motivation that I can't find the one in me. I'm filled with so much grief, I can't find me. I can't find what motivates me. So I say all of that to say that partnering with psychologists, therapists, partnering with even physicians, when you get into thinking about, the whole health of individuals, can help you to rebrand. So how do you do that? You get them to be sponsors. You get them to have programs. You go to them because it matters. Right. Just like on the youth side, I was reading an article the other day. There are probably, and I think it told me the top 10 companies that invest more than $1 million, more than $100 million in giving back to organizations for children's education and learning. They want them to have a sense of being. Right. So these organizations have community funds set aside just to do that because it fits their mission. Okay. And that's what you want. You want those organizations and companies that are going to do that. And that is their prime, that's what they're about. That's the core of who they are. That's letting them let their employees know, we care about you. We care about your children. We care about what's happening as we continue to move forward. Right. I also believe that there are a number of industries, as I was even doing more reading, and I do a lot around this simply because, to me, mental health is such a big issue. And a lot of times mental health stems from, I just don't feel good about me. Right. And so what's the purpose, So as I start thinking about that, and the more that I was doing research and reading and learning, I was beginning to understand that when we as businesses want to have mindsets and we want to change mindsets, we have to do something that is unique and different. I think about Oprah and Chopra. They had this mindset videos that they were doing and calming, and you could just, listen to the ocean, and they would have things that they were telling you in your mind so that you could continue to say it to yourself, those self-affirmations. Correct. Right? So I can begin to change who I am. And when I thought about that, I was like, you could create a library of those kinds of things as an extra product, right? You could create videos of those kinds of things as an extra product. Right. You could take your talent of your music and create the music to a well-known written song that's about I and the one in me. And when the song that you wrote, be able to put sayings around it. So every time they hear that song, not only do they hear about you, but they hear about the sayings that are around that song. That song becomes your signature as it is, your brand, but it also becomes something that people can relate to. That, this is here to help me to excel. This is here to help me to move forward. This is here to take me to that next level. And that's what becomes important when you're pivoting, is that you want to be able to pivot in a way that says, I'm not losing who we had. I'm just augmenting and adding more. I am expanding that capability. And I'm going to expand the capability by partnerships, I'm going to expand the capability with being able to get companies and sponsors and others to help me. I'm going to expand that capability by being able to tell another story. We're going to take a station break, and when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about funding. We'll take a station break. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Welcome back. As we were talking a few moments ago, when we were talking about pivoting, we're talking about segmenting our products and our audience. One of the things that, we always talk about funding. And I know when I started my own business, I found it very difficult to find funding for services. We find funding for products all day long.
Right.
We can find funding for capital all day long. But where do you go to find those services? So one of the biggest places that can give you lots of information to get grants, to get loans, etc., is a small business association. And right now, there are banks running where they are trying to get so many small businesses in that they are giving money up to, $10,000 a month that you can get money to come in to help towards your operating expenses that you're doing. And you may not even have a high credit rating score, right?
Okay.
But they're doing it as their way to help small businesses turn the corner, turn around, and then be able to help them to grow, because after a while, small businesses are going to be one of the most, have most of the employees that are in the organization, because people want to do work for themselves, right? And so we got to be able to provide funding. So yes, you can get a loan, you can do that. You can get grants. There are grants that you can get that are out there. Like I said, there are companies and foundations. Lots of large companies have foundations. And those foundations that are all about health and wellness, whether it is, you could go to a health company and say, look, out of your community service, I'd love to, apply for something out of the foundation to be able to get a grant. Or I'm looking for a sponsorship. You're going to do a program. You're offering a program to the constituents, and you need sponsors for that program. And you need people that are willing to give you money to help you to put that program on. Now, the thing is that when you do that, a lot of companies like to focus on 501c3s, nonprofits, right? And that's where they would go on, okay, I can give you money for nonprofit. It's a totally different situation when it's not a nonprofit and I need you to give me money for something else. Because usually the reason they do that is because we all know in business, if I give you something for a nonprofit, I can take part of that deduction in my taxes for helping to support a nonprofit organization. But when I give you something and it's for a for-profit organization, it has to be something that aligns to a program. So this company has a program, and you come in and you say, look, as part of your program, I would like to deliver X for you. As part of your program, I'd like to deliver Y for you. So you may have an organization that is focusing on adults, right? And through the health care that they're doing. And you may decide, I'd like to offer this program to you, right? You may partner with other healthcare providers that do other healthcare initiatives that you're coming in because you're all about the mind. You're all about the value of us, the mind that we bring. How do we bring our total selves? How do we bring our authentic selves to the table? And being authentic is what allows us to have the value in me. Right? Because I'm not trying to be something somebody else is, right?
That's right.
I'm accepting who I am.
Yes.
And part of that is knowing my gifts, right? So offering services that allows them, free services. You want to know what your passion is? Take this little quiz and it'll give you an idea. You want to know what you're thinking, what you're good at? Take this little quiz and give you an idea. Those kinds of things as free services open the door for people to come in and go, whoa, wait a minute, what else do you offer? I like that. It told me a lot about me. What else can you give? And being able to do that and also offer those kinds of assessments and things to businesses and companies and associations. You know, even when we do conferences and you can do this digitally easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing Zoom, you pass on something as a handout in a chat, you let people have it, they can use it, and at the very bottom, if you're interested in a coaching around this comment, now you got a coaching session, right? You have something you can follow back up on. If you know someone who's interested in this kind of program, call us, and that we can do that. If you're looking for, you know, these kinds of products to help you with X, Y, and Z, here it is on our website, right? So it opens up many, many different opportunities for you as you continue to move forward and take that effort forward. So I really encourage you that as you are thinking about this, one, really get with a good marketing strategist, and you need some, I got some recommendations, you can give me a call. And two is that as you begin to do that, segment as you're looking at your audience, how do you build on top of each other? Right. So I have my children, how do I build to the adults? You know, and that could be parents, that could be grandparents, that could be others, but they're invested in that child.
Right.
They want that child to do well.
Right.
So now they're already invested in you because they want that child to do well. So how do I get to them? How do I get to teachers? How do I get to counselors? Counselors in the school system, and working with them as well so that we can continue to take this effort forward. So let's see if we have a question from the audience.
Miguel Blanco, Corporate Medicare Solutions. I have more of a comment. Are you guys interested in becoming a non-for-profit with a for-profit arm in order to really attack your clients?
That's a good idea, Miguel. We just really never thought about that.
You know, it's really interesting. And he brings up a very good point because when you go for a non-for-profit, you go after foundations, you can go after other entities, as I spoke about earlier. It does open up another avenue that you can do in terms of getting money, right? And a nonprofit doesn't mean you can't make money. It just means that you're going for a mission and what you're doing, and you have to show where the appropriation of funds are going, how much is an operating expense, etc. So it is something to think about as people are doing charity and giving, because it's easier to do that. In terms of, like I said, businesses, you know, do a write-off, right? I'm going to do a charity. When people are contributing and they're looking, where can I spend my money that's going to give the value to the mission that I have? They can do that. So you may consider that there may be one arm or the other that you want to take nonprofit, or you might create a foundation as an entity. So it might be What's in Me Foundation. That is your nonprofit arm that is then going to support you have a for-profit arm that you're doing other things for, right? So you have a for-profit that you're going to utilize, and then a nonprofit foundation, so that foundation becomes that 501c3 that allows you to move forward. Right. So you can split, you know, you can start to talk about different entities. Like we talk about a main organization and subsidiaries. You can have a main for-profit and then have a nonprofit, so you can open up those avenues. Because I will tell you that when it comes to charitable giving and going towards missions, that's what people want, because they can then, you know, utilize it. You get something, they get something too.
Cool. Okay.
All right, so would you all thank my guests for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we give those strategies to make that green. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode. See you soon.